Welcome everybody to my latest video. So for this video, I'm going to show you guys a little trick regarding the test switch, or perhaps lack thereof, on your arcade cabinet. Now, here's the deal. Older arcade PCBs, let's just say JAMA ones, when you wanted to change the difficulty or any of the settings, such as difficulty, timer speed, how much, the coin settings, it all varied. And in order to do that, on the PCB itself, you would change the dip switches. Now, unfortunately, I don't have any PCBs on me right now with dip switches. They're all installed in my arcade cabinets, and right now the garage is a mess. I can't even get to the cabinet. But I'll go ahead and show a picture right here. Ooh, look at that. And hopefully the picture's showing up right now. But yeah, those are dip switches, and there might be, let's just call them blocks, 3 or 4 blocks of dip switches, sets, and number one, dip switch 1, slot 1, however you want to call it. If you flip it up, it would do one thing. If you would flip it down, it would do another. Maybe 2 and 3 both up would do one thing. 2 up, 3 down would do another. So it really all depend on the game itself. And that's how you would change the settings of the game. Now, in newer games, they don't have dip switches. And I'll show you right now. In fact, let me just show you on the game I have in here, NFL Blitz 2000 Gold. Okay, here we are, and this is the game board. And as you can see, there's no place that you see those dip switches anywhere on the board. They're just not there. Now, there's a battery, but no place for the dip switches. Now, how would you get access to the settings if there's no dip switches? Well, newer arcade cabinets usually, right in here someplace, you would find a switch. It was just a little button, and you press it, and boom, there you are. You would, gain access to the game settings. Let me show you on one of my arcade cabinets. It actually has, actually right here. Let's take a look. Let's open this up. But yeah, right there. You might even find something like that, and you press the button, one of these over here, and you get access to the test settings. This is, of course, a Neo Geo cabinet, so it's a little bit different, but the concept is the same. So, if you go back to this cabinet over here, you will see that there are no buttons in there for access to a game's settings. So what do you do when something like that happens? Well, you have a couple of options. First, let's see if we can focus in. There we go. You can look at your JAMA harness. You see right, where is it? Right there. That's your test switch wire. Now, one of the things you could do is stop moving. You can take that wire, follow it all the way down, see where it comes out, get it, and just make yourself a quick little test switch. Just grab a regular button, take the wire, you can have it dangling or something. That's one option. The other option is you can actually cut away the wire. Well, actually, either way, you'll have to cut it away, but, you can cut it away further down there and make a button, or you can cut it away up here, make another type of button. But let's just say you don't want to do that. You don't want to cut away your harness for whatever reason. And that's perfectly fine. But you still want to gain access to your settings. Well, there's a really easy way to do that. Now, let me see if I can just set this up. It's going to be kind of hard. All right, let's see how we can do this. All right. And let's try and move it a little further back. I think that'll do. Which button? Probably this one. Okay. Sorry about that. Now, let's say you don't want to cut away your harness to make yourself a test switch. There's something very easy you can do. Now, the first thing is, get yourself a piece of wire. And if you watch my videos, you'll know that I've always said to have a spare JAMA harness. Not necessarily to install in your cabinet, but to strip it for parts. I've been dealing with arcade cabinets for, maybe 10 years? And it's amazing how often you'll need a spare piece of wire because something's cut inside the cabinet or something's missing. So yeah, just grab yourself a spare harness. So go ahead and cut yourself a piece of wire. It doesn't have to be ultra long. I mean, 12 inches will do. Longer the better, depending on your cabinet. But get the wire. Let's see if we can focus in. It's not going to focus in. Let's see. There we go. So get the wire, strip away about an inch or so on each side. Okay. The exposed wire, twist it really tight at the end so you get a nice, point. There we go. All right, now, this cabinet, when I turn it on, unfortunately the battery you see here is dead. At least that's what I think it is, because I always set the volume, and when I turn it off and turn it back on, the volume's still blasted pretty hot. So I want to change that. All right. So what you're going to do, when you have your game on, and you need access to the tests, you need access to the settings menu, but you don't have a test switch, you get your wire, and what you're going to do, you take one end of the wire, and you're going to put it right into contact with the metal part of the JAMA harness, the wire itself that goes into that test switch slot. Kind of hard to understand, but you can see what I'm looking at right here. So you got the exposed wire like that, and you find on your JAMA harness the test wire, and if you look, you can get contact. Let's see if we can focus in. Right there. That metal part that's sticking out over the wire, that's your contact point. So, what you're going to do is you're going to stick and hold one end of your exposed wire there, and the other end of the exposed wire, all you're going to do is simply tap it on the ground connector of one of your existing buttons. That's it. I mean, I guess you could also tap it on one of the ground connectors to your cabinet, or excuse me, your JAMA harness. So I guess we'll try both ways. So let's go ahead and refocus here. Focus. Now, of course, this is assuming that you have easy access to your game board. Depending on your cabinet, it might not be so easy. So this is just one simple alternative in case you don't want to, hack away your JAMA harness or go through the difficulty of finding where that wire ends. So let's go ahead and turn this on. In fact, let's just focus on the harness itself, not necessarily another button. Okay, the volume doesn't seem loud now, but during gameplay it gets really loud. So, just so you can see, there's the game. It's starting normally. Set my camera. Alright, so we need to get access to the test menu or the settings. Okay. We got contact with the test button and contact with ground. And there we go. We are now in the menu settings. So, real easy to do. If you just want quick access to the game settings, you don't want to find out where, this wire goes. And if there is a wire there, but you don't have a button in your cabinet, then chances are the wire is somewhere buried in the back, probably wrapped up. For whatever reason, they just did it that way. Not sure why, but, this is just a quick, simple, easy way to get access to your settings. So if we want to, we'll do this one more time. Let's just exit out. Okay. There's the game. It's loading up. In fact, let's try and get a little bit closer. Alright, so wire has now made contact with the test slot. Now we're going to make contact with the ground. Boom. So there you are. Just a really quick, easy way, simple video. Wow, a lot longer than I anticipated. But yeah, if you have any questions, let me know. Until next time.
That's it, man. Game over, man. It's game over.